Hello, my dear viewers. Did you miss me? I was at meetings and busy the whole day, so this is the first occasion that I have had to make a video today. So let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about tomorrow, the big day. We're going to get the jobs report for June. Now, many of you know, especially you subscribers, you know, and by the way, if you're not a subscriber, how many times do I have to say it? Get a 30-day free trial to MMT Trader. By the way, are you frustrated? Are you bored with this market? Is the market causing you angst and disappointment because it's not going straight up or straight down every single day? Well, markets don't do that. They rarely do that, okay? And by the way, MMT Trader subscribers, we have been making money in this market because we have been very opportunistic. That's the way we operate. SEAL Team 6, lethal killers. We have been very opportunistic, the way we trade, the way we buy, the way we sell, okay? For example, I sold out of the GDX yesterday at 30.23. Bought that at 24 and change. Look at gold down today. How did I know that? How did I know that? And by the way, MMT Trader subscribers, they got an email alert about that. How did I know it? I know it. Okay? It's in MMT Trader. So get yourself a 30-day free trial. Don't wait. Get it now. Go to www.pitbulleconomics.com and click on the tab that says products. All right, now, getting back to tomorrow, we got the June jobs report. Now, many of you know, back in May, first of all, if you remember back in May, and you could go back and watch the video that I made, we nailed it. We killed it. I said the jobs report was going to be very weak, weaker than expectations. How did I know? I know because I follow the right data. I follow the numbers. Again, those are numbers in the MMT Trader report. But at the time, right after that, I said it was probably a one-off. What does that mean? It means it was probably a one-month dip in payroll creation because of the Verizon strike. As a matter of fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they mentioned that in their news release when they released the number last month. But we already knew that. We knew that, okay? So, for example, today we got the ADP jobs report, 172,000. That beat the expectation, which was around 150,000. There's a good chance that tomorrow's number could beat as well. I think they're looking for something like 175,000. Now, what does that mean? I'll give away some free ideas here. It means that a lot of the trade in the last 2 weeks since Brexit, a lot of the trade has been built on the expectation that central banks are going to remain accommodative, all right, including the Fed. And by the way, that whole thing, it just makes me laugh because they're all out there, all these people, oh, they're going to be accommodative, oh, they can't rate, you know, like they know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Let me restate that. They don't understand. They call something accommodative, which is highly deflationary, and they call something which is actually stimulative, a rate hike, they call that something which is, you know, an economic drag. Now, why do I say a rate hike? First of all, let me get back to what I was saying. If we get a stronger number tomorrow, that entire trade of the last 2 weeks, and we're talking about the gold rally, we're talking about the Treasury, especially we're talking about the Treasury rally, and maybe some of the stock rally, that's all gets taken away because in an instant, the idea that the Fed is back, that the rate hike is back, comes back on the table, okay? But even that, you have to know how to trade that. You got to know how to trade that. Remember I said the 100% is always wrong. They're always wrong. So that's what I'll be looking for tomorrow, is a stronger than expected number. Let me talk a little bit about the British pound, which got back up over 130 but has now started to pull back down. You know, folks, it takes time. When you've been, if you think about a person who has been in shock, Could be actual bodily shock, like loss of blood or some kind of emotional or psychological shock, a deep, deep psychological shock, where that person physically might be perfectly okay, but a deep, deep psychological, emotional shock, even though that person physically is 100% okay, you don't just bounce back, la-di-da, I feel fantastic. It takes time. It takes healing, psychological healing. That's exactly what happened with the British pound. You had a deep, deep psychological shock from Brexit. Nothing changed. There is nothing that happened. I'm going on record right now, and I will be right ultimately. There is nothing that happened fundamentally to alter the foreign exchange value of the British pound. Nothing. It was a 151. Let's call it was in the 140s before the Brexit vote. It's 129. That's all going to be retraced. But it doesn't just go boom and boom back up. You had a deep, deep emotional and psychological shock amongst millions and millions of people who don't understand it. They don't, and they're just watching the headline. Oh my God, it's going to be the worst recession, depression. It's going to be terrible. Oh, Jimmy Rogers, it's still going to be the worst recession of our lifetime. Takes time. So this backing and filling, coming off the carpet, might even go down and retest that low 127.96 the other day. I'm not scared. I'm not nervous. Do I look nervous? So it was a deep psychological shock. It takes time for a market to recover, but nothing fundamental has changed in this. So, summer doldrums. Look, guys, from 1966 to 1982, the stock market basically went nowhere. 16 years. Okay, so if you think this is bad, this is nothing. Nothing. And guess what? If you were a savvy trader in that time, you still made money. You still made money. That was before my time. I got going in what, 79, 80. But I know veterans who went through that. You still made money if you're a lethal killer. And that's what we are. See you later.